Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, dear soul, in this moment of stillness. Close your eyes and feel the weight of your heart, the unspoken longings, the silent du'a that rises within you. Know this, Allah says in the Qur'an, and your Lord says, call upon me, I will respond to you. Surah Ghafir 40:60. Every plea you raise, every tear you shed, every whispered hope is heard by him. There is no distance between your heart and his mercy. Perhaps you feel the waiting is too long, the pain too deep, the nights too heavy. But remember, the one who created you knows the rhythm of your soul, the measure of your patience. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Baqarah 2:15-3. Your heartbreak, your solitude, your struggles, they are not emptiness. They are the soil where faith takes root, where dua softens the heart and brings unseen relief. The Prophet taught us that the essence of worship is in dua, that turning to Allah with sincerity heals even before the answer appears. And the Qur'an reminds us, so remember me, I will remember you. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:15-20. Every time you whisper his name, your soul breathes. Every moment of surrender, every act of trust is a dialogue with the most merciful. He does not delay. He answers in the way that your heart, your life, your destiny need most. Do not look only for the grand signs, for the instant that seems visible. Sometimes the answer comes in the quiet softening of your heart, in a moment of clarity, in a relief you did not expect. Sabr is not waiting with despair, it is remaining anchored in trust, even when everything around you seems uncertain. And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. Speak to Allah with all your longing, with every fear and hope. Speak with tears if you cannot find words. He is closer than your jugular vein, responding in ways that your heart may not yet perceive. The dua you make today is already answered in the unseen, already preparing your soul for the peace that is coming. Remember, in every whispered plea, in every patient heart, in every surrender, Allah's mercy is flowing. Your soul will find its rest in his remembrance, and your heart will be lifted in ways you cannot yet imagine. When you raise your heart in dua, know that it reaches Allah even before your lips form the words. There is a profound intimacy in this act, a direct connection between your soul and the most merciful. Allah says in the Qur'an, and your Lord says, call upon me, I will respond to you. Surah Ghafir 40:60. Every sincere plea, whether whispered in the solitude of the night or spoken in desperation in the middle of the day, is heard, even if the world around you seems silent. Even if no immediate change appears in your circumstances, your dua is never lost, never ignored, never overlooked. The heart often struggles with the feeling of being unseen or unheard. Pain, longing, and unmet desires can make the soul doubt. Yet the reality is that Allah's knowledge of your situation is complete. The response to your dua may not appear in the form you expect. It may be delayed, refined, or transformed to something far better than what your limited vision can comprehend. Every delay is intentional, a part of divine wisdom, preparing your heart to receive what is best, teaching patience, trust, and reliance upon him. Dua is more than a request. It is a reflection of surrender and hope. When you call upon Allah with sincerity, your very act of turning to him reshapes your heart, softens your soul, and strengthens your connection to the one who knows all things. The unseen response may come as comfort, clarity, or even a subtle shift in your perspective that you later recognize as guidance. Your dua is never wasted, for the one who hears is closer to you than your own heart, and he responds in ways that touch not just your circumstances, but your inner being, molding patience, faith, and trust in the process. When we make dua, our hearts often long for an immediate, tangible answer, something we can see, touch, or measure. Yet the reality is that Allah's response does not always appear in the form we expect. Sometimes the answer is subtle, wrapped in quiet shifts in our hearts, in renewed clarity, in guidance we hadn't noticed before. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows that the timing and shape of His response are more perfect than what our limited perception can imagine. He says in the Qur'an, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. Instant responses may arrive as patience granted when your heart feels weak, as courage in the face of uncertainty, or as reassurance in moments of fear. Sometimes the du'a is answered through events that redirect your life, through doors you had never considered opening, through relationships, opportunities, or inner peace that gently settle upon your soul. These answers are immediate in the sense that the mercy has already begun to flow. They are already shaping your reality, even if the world has not yet caught up. The human mind often measures answers by speed or visibility, but Allah measures them by benefit, by readiness of the heart, and by what will bring you closer to Him. Every whisper of hope, every tear shed in sincerity, every moment you turn to Him in longing is already a part of the answer being written in the unseen. The heart may not immediately perceive the effect, but the instant connection has been established. The response is unfolding, preparing the soul, strengthening faith, and aligning circumstances in a way only Allah can orchestrate. The condition of your heart is the vessel through which du'a flows. When you turn to Allah with sincerity, humility, and complete reliance, your words carry a depth that resonates in the unseen, touching the divine in ways that mere utterances cannot. The Prophet taught us that du'a is the essence of worship, and it is the state of the heart, not the volume of words, that draws Allah near. When your heart is open, soft, and free from distraction, the du'a becomes a living conversation, a connection between the finite human soul and the infinite, most merciful. The Qur'an reminds us, call upon your Lord humbly and privately. Indeed, He does not like transgressors. Surah Al-A'raf 7:55. Humility is the key that unlocks this intimate communication. A heart filled with arrogance, doubt, or heedlessness may speak words, but the essence of du'a, the true reaching of the soul to Allah, cannot penetrate. Conversely, a heart that trembles in hope and fear, that longs for closeness while trusting in His wisdom, carries a resonance that Allah responds to instantly, even if the manifestation is unseen. Every tear shed in longing, every sigh of surrender, every quiet whisper in the stillness of night is recorded in the presence of Allah. The state of your heart determines how the mercy flows, how the guidance reaches, and how the soul feels the unseen embrace of divine presence. When the heart is attentive, when it is humble, and when it seeks Allah with love and reliance, the du'a transcends words. It becomes a spiritual current that moves the soul, aligns destiny, and softens the burdens that life places upon you. It is not just what you ask, but how you ask, and with what state of being, that shapes the depth and impact of your connection with your Creator. When you call upon Allah in du'a, patience and trust are not obstacles but bridges. Sabr and tawakkul are the tools through which your heart aligns with the divine, shaping your soul to receive the answer in the way that is best for you. Allah says in the Qur'an, and rely upon Allah, and sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. Surah Al-Ahzab 33. Trusting Him does not mean waiting passively. It means surrendering your will, releasing your anxieties, and believing that the one who hears knows the perfect timing, the perfect form, and the perfect measure of your answer. Patience is not simply enduring hardship. It is a deep spiritual practice of refining the heart. Each moment you wait, each second you persevere in hope is a moment in which your heart becomes more receptive, more attuned to divine wisdom. The answer to your du'a may come immediately, or it may unfold gradually, but the state of patience ensures that your soul is ready to embrace it fully, without doubt or fear. Indeed, Allah is with those who are patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. Tawakkul, trust in Allah, transforms the way you experience the waiting. It is a surrender that carries serenity, a recognition that the divine knowledge surpasses human understanding. when you combine dua with sabr and tawakkul, the act of asking itself becomes a form of healing. The heart learns to rely on Allah's wisdom, the soul learns to release control, and the connection with the most merciful deepens. In this sacred alignment, every hardship becomes a lesson, every delay becomes an opening, and every moment of faith strengthens your bond with the one who knows what your soul truly needs. When the heart aches, when loneliness presses heavily upon the soul, or when waiting seems endless, it is easy to feel abandoned or forgotten. Yet, in the Qur'an, Allah reminds us, do not grieve, indeed Allah is with us. Surah At-Tawbah 9:40. Pain is not the absence of mercy, it is a reminder of the presence of Allah. Every heartbreak, every moment of longing, every tear that falls in secret is a divine invitation to turn inward, to seek solace and strength in the one who knows the deepest corners of your soul. The human heart is tender, and suffering exposes that tenderness. It reveals the layers of attachment, expectation, and fear that weigh the spirit down. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, uses these very moments to draw you nearer. Just as the night sky reveals the stars in darkness, your pain reveals the path to reliance on Allah. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give Ode tidings to the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:15-5. Every trial, every longing, every delay contains a subtle mercy, a chance to deepen faith, to cultivate patience, and to realize that your heart belongs fully to the most merciful. Waiting becomes an act of worship when the heart remains in remembrance of Allah. Heartbreak becomes a sacred teacher, guiding the soul to surrender, to trust, and to embrace divine wisdom. Even in moments when the world offers no comfort, when friends cannot console, and when your own strength falters, turning to Allah brings a peace that transcends understanding. Your tears are not wasted, they are prayers in motion. Your pain is not punishment, it is a pathway to closeness. In the waiting, the longing, and the heartbreak, Allah's presence is nearer than you imagine, inviting your soul to seek refuge, guidance, and love in Him alone. Du'a is not just a request, it is a sacred dialogue between the human soul and its creator. When you raise your hands, whisper your heart's deepest desires, or breathe your silent hopes into the quiet of the night, you are engaging in an intimacy that no worldly connection can replace. Allah says in the Qur'an, "And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:18-6. In these moments, even before a tangible answer appears, your soul is being transformed, your heart is being softened, and your spirit is being new. Nourished by the presence of the most merciful, the act of dua is itself a balm for the wounded heart. When words fail and tears rise, the soul speaks directly to Allah in sincerity and vulnerability. This direct turning, this undistracted focus on the divine brings comfort, clarity, and reassurance. The heart that pours itself out in dua begins to feel a closeness to Allah that surpasses the need for immediate worldly resolution. Even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty, the soul experiences a healing presence that is immediate, profound, and eternal. Dua bridges the seen and unseen. Your whispered plea may not instantly change circumstances, but it changes you. It aligns your heart with divine will, strengthens patience, and cultivates trust in the wisdom of Allah. Every word, every sigh, every tear is an intimate message carried directly to Him, and every message is received fully. The soul begins to rest in the knowledge that the one who created it is listening, responding, and tenderly shaping what is to come. Dua is not only about what you ask for, it is about the connection, the closeness, and the spiritual conversation that sustains your heart and nourishes your faith in ways beyond comprehension. The remembrance of Allah, dhikr, is the key that unlocks the subtle currents of mercy, guidance, and comfort in the heart. When you pause in the busyness of life and turn your mind and heart to Allah, even for a single breath, a shift occurs within your soul. The Qur'an reminds us, indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:28. It is through this remembrance that the heart becomes attuned to the whispers of guidance, the signs of mercy, and the gentle nudges that Allah places along your path. Regular dhikr is not only an act of devotion, but also a spiritual lens. It allows the believer to perceive blessings that were previously invisible, answers to du'a that had gone unnoticed, and subtle doors of relief that open quietly in the unseen. Sometimes the guidance comes in the form of a sudden clarity, an unexplainable sense of peace, or a gentle intuition that steers the heart toward what is right. These forms of divine response are immediate, though they often escape the surface of our awareness until we look back with reflection and gratitude. The heart that remembers Allah consistently is like a vessel in which the waters of mercy flow freely. In times of hardship, despair, or uncertainty, dhikr becomes a lifeline, reconnecting the soul with the source of all wisdom and love. Each whispered name, each moment of reflection is a dialogue, an intimate turning toward the most merciful. This remembrance transforms waiting into presence, anxiety into trust, and confusion into insight. It is in these small, consistent acts of remembering that the heart is trained to recognize the immediate ways Allah responds, the subtle forms in which His mercy and guidance reach the soul, and the deep assurance that the Creator is never distant, never unaware, and always attuned to the call of His servant. So remember, beloved soul, every du'a you make is a thread connecting you to the most merciful. Do not measure the worth of your supplication by what you see or by the speed with which answers appear. The very act of turning to Allah in sincerity and humility is a response in itself. Your patience, your trust, your longing, they are all embraced in His mercy. Let your heart never despair, for the one who created you knows what your soul needs, what your heart desires, and what will bring you true peace. Call upon Him with the fullness of your heart. Speak to Him in your solitude. Shed your tears freely, and trust that each whispered plea is received instantly, even if the world has yet to reveal it. In every moment of waiting, every struggle, and every sigh of longing, Allah is shaping your heart, guiding your steps, and answering in ways that only infinite wisdom can orchestrate. Never forget, the heart that calls upon Allah sincerely, with humility, trust, and patience, is never truly empty. It is full of divine presence, full of unseen responses, and full of mercy. Let this be your anchor, your strength, and your comfort. Your du'a is not just a request, it is a lifeline, a conversation with the Creator, a light in your heart that no darkness can extinguish. Hold fast to it, nurture it, and watch how the most merciful responds in His perfect timing with His infinite wisdom and with His boundless love.